I really love dedication to films. I love it when someone really puts the work in as an actor, as a director, as a DP. I just really care about dedication to the filmmaking craft. I appreciate it, but I do have this question, do people actually care? When you see what's popular in culture, you always wonder, what is it about this thing that makes it so appealing for people? And even for filmmaking now, what is it about this film that draws people in? This weekend, the new Thunderbolts Marvel film is coming out, and honestly, everybody's kind of in a Marvel slump. I mean, nobody's been super hyped about any of the recent Marvel shows or Marvel movies, but they still keep rolling them out. And part of it might just be because they've been planning this for a long time and they want to get it out there. However, there seems to be a lot of effort to paint Thunderbolts in a very positive light. A lot of people are saying that this is the best Marvel film since Endgame, which honestly, with these characters, seems kind of hard to believe. And right now it's sitting at a 89 for the critics score. And if we look at some of the reviews, we see an excuse for grand CGI spectacle and more toe dip into the dark psychology of superheroism / villainy. Really, the whole movie feels like an asterisk. Don't expect too much of me, it says. Thunderbolts delivers rare emotional richness through its B-list heroes, providing that often stronger superpowers lead to weaker storytelling. So with a movie like this, and a genre like this, and in an IP like Marvel, everyone's just kind of wondering, is this actually going to work, right? Is this actually going to be a moneymaker, neutral, or honestly a loss? It's a coin flip at this point. But when it comes to dedication to the craft, I found out that this film actually put a little bit of effort in, and maybe this is all just PR kind of stuff. It's very possible. I know Tom Cruise does this a lot with the stunts for his Mission Impossible films, which honestly I'm a big fan of, so I appreciate those. So on some level, I'm sympathetic to this. Florence Pugh jumps off the second tallest building in the world. Now, how exactly did that play out? It was a stunt that she did herself. Let's watch this video.
Full rehearsal.
At the beginning, Jake asked me, do you like heights? I was like, I love heights.
We wanted to give the beginning of the movie a little more weight and a little bit more surprise and up the stakes.
So we decide we're going to go to Kuala Lumpur and go to the second tallest building on the planet and literally put Florence Pugh on the edge.
Let's do it. Yay, okay. I've been excited about this since I read the first page of the script.
Disney Health and Safety.
I wouldn't be doing this. I'm deathly afraid of heights. Even if I knew it was super safe, I would not be able to get my legs to fall off. I wouldn't be able to get myself to do it.
She just said no, and that's a very reasonable thing to say. It's not a zero-risk thing to attempt. And it's only because she believed in it so much. She took it upon herself to elevate it because she trusts our amazing team.
This rig behind us is the result of an incredible stunt team, which is really from the beginning set out to do something.
So it's a whole big rig that's just at the top of this skyscraper.
Unlike anything we've ever done before. So this allows us to descend Florence herself off the second tallest building in the world.
Nice.
Rolling cameras. All cameras feeding. Copy.
Ready, and 3, 2, 1, go!
Interesting.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, say goodbye to the 120th floor or whatever.
I'm kind of wondering, so it looks kind of like these shots right here might have been her stunt double, and this initial just fall off was just obviously the harness. But that right there, I think that's a stunt double. It could be CG, but I think they actually did a stunt double there. Because you also have the shot of the parachute opening and stuff. And I know she had a stunt double for this. It's actually that woman right there standing next to her. Florence Pugh simply just takes the leap, right? And then she does a very short bungee jump, which honestly, that's sort of impressive, I would say, especially with Marvel. You could have just put a few boxes up in a green screen studio and just done the exact same thing or landed on a net or something. But they actually went to the building to do this.
We shot Florence jumping off of that building in the morning and then went to another street and just blew up an entire floor of a building in the afternoon.
And background. And
Okay. Assignment is... Oh, wait, hang on.
I like that.
Assignment is complete.
Blew up a building today. What else can we...
I like that. That's cool. And it does make you wonder, with the effort to say, at least at the beginning of the film, right? We're going to have Florence Pugh jump off. We're going to actually blow up an entire floor of a very large building. We are going to put the effort in. We're going to put the money in. We're going to put the time in to do something that's authentic, right? To do something that's more traditional filmmaking instead of just kind of CGI. However, we already know from the reviews that's still kind of a lot of CGI gobbledygook. The director of this is Jake Schreier, and he's done films like Robot and Frank, the Beef Show. He directed that. Paper Towns, and now Thunderbolts. He's also done some directing for the Skeleton Crew Disney Plus series, and he's just done a bunch of other projects. So he hasn't done like a ton of super high profile films. Like this seems to be the highest profile thing he's done, probably next to his show Beef. So in some ways, that's kind of nice to see. Even the way the aesthetic looks of Thunderbolts, it feels kind of like a more grungy Marvel film. It doesn't feel like the big, colorful, flowery, multiverse Marvel that we've lived in for so long. That is honestly the Marvel that I think most people hate. I definitely hate that version. So this is kind of grounding Marvel for this weird little anti-hero spinoff. It's just kind of strange because we come off of, last time we saw these characters was Black Widow, I believe, and a lot of people didn't care for that film. So if this kind of overshadows Black Widow, it's kind of a really interesting dynamic when it comes to writing, directing, and just the creation of films right now, especially that Marvel is in the worst place it could be. Superhero genre is in the worst place it could be, but it's interesting that this actually holds a possibility of being good when other Marvel films we kind of know before going in it's gonna be horrible. But the idea of authenticity in filmmaking, I'm very curious. Do people care right now? Like, does the fact that Florence Pugh jumps off a building, does that matter to you? The fact that they do a whole scene where they blow up a building and time it perfectly with the shot, like, does that matter? Does that interest you to actually go and watch the film, or could you care less? And it really gets me thinking, because when I think about, CGI, when I think about storytelling, when I think about AI, I do believe that on some level, people are going to start really craving authenticity. People are going to really start craving the human experience and realism, but it might turn into kind of a niche thing where if movies are your thing and you actually keep up with them and you actually care about the filmmaking craft, it actually might mean something to you, but the general public, does anyone care? I recently did a podcast with a director named Emilio Torres. He just did his first feature film. It's called The Ladder. And I wanted to play this segment from our podcast because he had some ideas and thoughts around what audiences and what the general public is probably going to morph into in a world of expansive inauthenticity.
I also think I think as things become more and more like AI slop, people are going to crave authenticity and they're going to crave film. And unfortunately it's going to kind of make it more niche. Like I think in some ways the theatrical
vinyl, kind of like vinyl.
Yes.
Film is going to be like vinyl a little bit.
But my fiance, she's a musical theater actress mainly. I mean, she does lots of different crafts, and I have a theater background. I know a lot of theater actors, and I feel like theater kind of fills that in society right now. Like only a niche group of people actually go out and watch live theater, but it's still a central part of culture. People still make careers in it. I love telling stories. I love bringing communities together. That's what my why is. And so I guess what I think filmmakers should be thinking about is why do you do this? Is it really just because you like playing with cameras? And if that's the case, like that's fine. But like, is there something you could lean into within that like isn't going to be replicable by AI?
What he's saying is very valuable for filmmakers, but for the general audience also, If filmmakers want to tell stories, does the general public care about authenticity in stories? That's something I really want to know. Leave it in the comments. What do you think about stunts like Florence Pugh jumping off a building for the role, or blowing up a building, or even, you know, Tom Cruise films, the Mission Impossible, it's coming out very soon, the last one. What do you care about the stunts that he does in his films to create that authenticity? And if you want to watch the whole podcast conversation I had with Emilio Torres, just click the button here. It'll take you right into it.